these meat sausages are kind of hanging on the wall.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna just kind of slowly lean up against the wall and then just go to one of these things and start eating them right from the link against the wall without using my hands. Right? I'm just slowly slurping them in, making sure that they're not really watching me. You know, like spaghetti.
Okay.
Kind of like a Lady in the Tramp moment.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's pretty
Gotta
good.
stop that, Scooby.
Yeah. So when you're doing that, after about the second one, going on your third one, you start to notice this hot, fiery sensation in your mouth. And even for a Goliath, you like some spicy food, but these, whatever they are, these things have now set your mouth on fire. And they have a very, very, very bitter, salty taste. It's like the salt is literally burning your mouth.
Is there any like milk?
Balrog, thank you for the
around?
follow, Balrog. No, but you start to gasp a little bit for, you know, air, and several of the initiates look over with you as you kind of turn. You yank the whole cord of these meat links off of the hook, and you know, knock a couple pans around, and one of them comes over and takes his knife and cuts it and pulls it out of your mouth, and he goes, "These are for seasoning, you moron. These aren't to eat. You're gonna be sick as the dickens."
I don't know how to react to that. I don't think Donk's really ever been sick from eating anything. I mean, my
yeah,
God,
these things are yeah. Basically, this is like a sort of like a seasoning, you know, meat that's been cured for a long time and are very, very, very salty, very spicy, very hot, and it's basically really singed your mouth on fire.
So I whisper to one of the initiates, "Can I get some milk or some water?"
Yeah, so there's like a metal jug, and they pour you some semi-clumpy like goat's milk and say, "Here, drink this. It's not fully processed yet, but this will take care of the heat."
The chunks.
Oh, yeah.
Just like what Theo's doing. So I start chugging the milk, sucking down the little chunks, chawing them. And when I remove the canister, I got like all this, you know, giant milk mustache.
Yeah, you have the milk mustache. Yeah, the Goliath milk mustache, absolutely.
And I feel
well, everyone
better.
loves their milk with a little bit of pulp in it.
That's right. It's good for you. Plus,
Yummy.
it makes cheese.
That's probably how he gets it as a Goliath anyway.
That's right. I usually go right to the goat, pick it up,
and just suck off of the nipple.
Oh, nipple.
The freshest.
Lady.
No, I'm just joking.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. God.
No.
Yeah, I could see him as a Goliath picking up a goat and just sucking on like the milk sack under him, sort of like a cow. I'm sure you'd probably do that if you could pick up a cow.
I mean, absolutely, because why not? Because I wouldn't waste my time transferring it into a wineskin and then drink it.
A waste of time. That's like a waste of time.
Plus, it's like a wineskin that can follow you around.
So he says, "Move!" One of these guys is, you know, kind of Kel's kind of shaking his head at Donk, and you can hear just a very long, deep sigh from Kel. One of the initiates comes over and says, "You've got to leave. You're like a bull in the china shop. You're gonna break everything. Don't ruin our meal." And he scoots the big Goliath, just pushes him right on out the door, moves him over. Pretty tough little guy though, Donk. But these guys are serious about making this manticore stew.
Yeah, I better let him finish this, because the longer I wait, the longer I'm gonna have to, or the longer I mess with him, the longer I'm gonna have to wait for my meal.
Yeah.
So
you can't
I'll
jinx
go ahead
it.
and-
Don't jinx the meal.
Absolutely, I don't want to jinx it. So I'm gonna move to the south a little bit, Dave.
Sure.
Dave, before I leave the room, I'm gonna kind of look around. I don't know, maybe it's a nature check or something. Just kind of make sure that I don't identify anything unusual that they might be putting into this soup, or
A nature
that they might
check
be
as
cooking
in
with.
Like,
See if I identify any kind of odd herbs or anything like that they might be getting ready to feed us. I mean,
Feel like they're poisoning us.
Elora's a little, what's the word?
Paranoid?
Paranoid.
Picky?
Sure. You can give me a I'll say give me a perception check. and we'll kind of wrap that up into sort of like a perception based on nature. Because you are one with loving to see specimens.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, yeah. You're, you know, as you're kind of looking around, everything looks to be a very precise operation back in this kitchen. Everything nice and clean. All of the knives organized. All of the tenderizers together. You know, all of the spice jars and jugs up onto the shelves, the 4 shelves in the room, all labeled. This is right up your alley, Alora.
So in other words, I'm so preoccupied with the fact that they're so perfectly labeled that
You
I'm
are,
not really
yes,
paying any attention to
you are
anything else.
you are quite taken back by the organization of this kitchen.
I'm checking to make sure everything's alphabetized, you know, in accordance with the label.
It is. Everything is from A to Z.
I kind of get hung up in there for a little bit, and not really noticing anybody's leaving. Just kind of in awe of the wonderful organizational skills of the Spire.
Shoo! Everyone shoo! You know, one of the initiatives, you know, ushers Donk out, pushes everyone out of the door and says, "You have to hold your, contain your hunger. You'll be eating in just a few hours." And he shuts the door. And you can hear it lock a couple times. Click, click, click.
Which door did they push us out of?
Oh, the top door where the kitchen is. When you're in the yeah, you guys are still in the center where the stairwell is going up and down.
Okay, all right.
You still haven't checked out this one room here on the ground level. If you'd like to.
Yeah, we need to do that. Bottom
Let's head
left.
over that way.
Sounds good.
All right. So you guys remember Savra talking about how they were low on weapons. Remember how the last session we had, usually they have weapons for sale, armor for sale, but you know they were quite low on supplies. Well, this is their weapons locker. So you know for a fact that Savra was not lying to you. Now when you go into this this area, there is basically armor racks, armor mannequins. There's also some weapon racks along the walls, and they're quite empty actually. They only have in their possession 4 long swords, 4 suits of scale mail, 4 shields, 4 helmets, 4 longbows, and 4 quivers of arrows. So it looks like this is probably just standard equipment that the knights here at the Feathergale Spire use.
Are there any targets or anything in here, like people use for target practice, or?
There's a couple
practicing?
mannequins. They could be used as targets, but they're not. They're not fully padded and stuffed with hay. So I mean, you could. I mean, if you wanted to, precisely, duel with one with possibly a weapon, you could do that. But I wouldn't recommend smashing it because it wouldn't take a hit. I mean, plus it has the scale mail on it and the helmets and whatnot. So.
Well, Donk's a barbarian, so armor really doesn't impress him much. But if they don't have any giant mauls made out of magic wooden trees, forget it. It's not worth it for me.
No, there's not. Yeah, there's not.
Would there happen to be a breastplate?
There's a...
Ladies.
Like I was telling you, there's 4 suits of armor.
Scale mail.
It is
4
scale mail.
mails.
Yep, 4 suits of scale mail, 4 shields, 4 helmets,
So
4
it's not
crossbows, 4 long swords, 4 quivers of arrows. Basically, uniform sets, probably for other riders that are not presently at the tower, because you can actually see a name on each one of these mannequins.
Well, poo.
So it's not as exciting as you might think an armory would be.
No horn of blastings lying around, or no fingers of 12 rings of invisibility, wizardry, all that shit. Yeah, they're all out of those right now.
So Donk will just walk around and maybe thumb some of the weapons, just push them a little bit, but just to waste time while everybody else looks around. I don't want to feel like I'm not included. Then I guess after a bit, I'll go ahead and just head back north. Are you guys doing anything special? You gonna take armor, or you're gonna?
Nothing here I want to use.
Theo,
Capable of it, but
Raz,
nothing I need to.
Kel, what do you guys think? You want to? And you haven't even been to the second level of the Spire.
Yeah, I want to head to the second level.
Yeah, I'm upstairs.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll go out south, and then we'll hang a quick east, and go through that spiral staircase. And man, all this exercising, I hope Donk's not losing any weight. I mean, I'm like a 400-pound Goliath. It's not all muscle, but I still like to impress people with my giant girth.
Oh, well, absolutely.
Ladies.
I don't think you're having a problem with that yet, there, Donk.
All right, good deal.
All right, so as you guys go up to the second floor of the tower, you go through the double doors. This is basically what you see. I mean, this is a great hall, and this great hall basically spans the entire half diameter of the second floor. Between the overlarge windows, there's tapestries that depict scenes of gallant knights on flying hippogriffs fighting dragons and jousting with one another among the clouds. And like I said, all of these tapestries are, kind of spaced. And high on the walls are the mounted heads of griffins, wyverns, owlbears, and manticores. A long curved table set for a feast outstretches between the hall's twin hearths. So there is a massive 20 to 25 foot long table that looks like, and you can actually tell that there's quite a few placements and stools and chairs brought in for actually to seat a lot of people. So this is probably where you're going to have your grand feast tonight, your manticore stew.
So all of these heads that are stuffed above the area, do they have like plaques or anything, or dates, or I mean, is there
yeah,
a way?
Absolutely. There's
I'm
dates.
Looking to find out. Yeah, I'm looking to find
from
out
years ago, and especially the manticore.
Yeah.
The manticore probably precedes some 100 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I point that out to everybody. I point at the manticore head and I yell, "Look how old that last manticore was! It must have been our guy's granddad."
And there's actually a couple manticore. There's a couple manticores. There's actually a couple Feathergale knights that are basically standing as you enter. You see two of these heavily armored men, same type of scale mail. The crossbows, the swords, the shields, and they're basically standing on opposite ends of the Great Hall.
Oh, they're like guarding it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just kind of standing there at attention, yeah, guarding it.
What is that attachment on their crossbow?
It's like a suction cup so we can climb up walls.
That's what I thought.
Oh, let's take a look at it. I don't know. Maybe it's a light bulb. Not a light bulb.
So they can see at nighttime.
Yeah, so they can have night vision.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah.
Caboose, thank you very much for the follow. I have no clue what that is.
I think it's the stock that they hold, like it's a two-handed deal.
Like totally.
Yeah, like
oh my god.
I think it's like that's what it is, but it's the angle of it. But
I bet you
anyway,
back in the 80s, Misty had this huge hair, all hair sprayed out, and I bet you Misty spoke Valley Girl back in the 80s. Did you, Misty?
Oh, and shoulder pads.
Totally.
Like totally awesome? Totally.
Totally awesome, yeah. Big old 80s hair.
Oh my god, Lord, do you see what that slut Sasha was wearing the other day?
It was gnarly. Oh wait, maybe that's not the right way to say it.
Nice.
No, the G is silent, you
Dog
dumbass.
not know how to say gnarly.
YOLO.
Swag.
So I guess I'm gonna walk over to one of these guards, and they're guarding some door.
Oh, they're not guarding the door. They're just kind of just standing there. And they ask you, "Aren't you a little bit too early for the festivities tonight? The heroes here? You don't have to be 3 hours, 4 hours early."
We were just looking around. We were invited to take a look, so we decided to.
You most certainly are welcome to look around the entire Feathergale Spire if you'd like. It's unfortunate what happened to your friend yesterday. Quite unfortunate.
Too soon, Dave. Too soon.
Our who? What now?
I believe he's referring to Sasha.
Your friend that fell to her death. And you, sir, dwarf, you are actually quite lucky to manage have escaped without falling to your death as well.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
Well, your wishes could come true one day, sir.
I prefer to be lucky and good.
Maybe you could give me a lesson or something.
I'm sure Master Thurl could arrange some riding lessons for you.
Oh, riding lessons? Donk wants to ride Vulture. No? Bad
Lessons
news.
would be great.
Well, so let's, you guys want to continue to look around? I mean, obviously, it's awesome to be in this hall and see all these animals up on the wall. Maybe
They're all staring at you.
Yeah, he's like, I feel like everybody's watching me. So Donk might ask some of these guys, I might say, how many of these do you have in the hall? Is this all the heads you have?
These are all of the great trophies that the Feathergale Knights have conquered in the past, yes.
That's not so many. Where's our Manicore head? Is it going to be put on the wall?
It will, as soon as all of the brains and the meats have been stripped from the inner lining of the skull.
Brains and meats.
Of course, the head needs to be prepped, needs to be dried, and then it will be taxidermied and put onto the wall. And he points to a spot on the wall. This is where it will go. But yet, adventurers, this is the first great beast that has not been killed by the actual Knights of the Feathergale Spire. So your names will be emblazoned on the plaque.
Oh, put Donk first. Donk.
Maybe we could be inducted.
I don't know if that would be feasible, dwarf. You need to be a Wintered Havian. I'm sorry, you need to be a Waterdeep Havian. You have to be also a knight of the. You have to be knighted into our order, and you have to be a Grandmaster Flyer. And I don't think that you meet the recommendations, dwarf, as he kind of chuckles a little bit.
I'll chuckle along with him like he's my best friend. Making fun of the dwarf.
But Dave, if you bring back me a shrubbery... No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Kel?
How far back do the heads go? We know you said the Manicore was 100 years. What's the longest?
About 100. Actually, the Manicore's the oldest date that you see. About 100 years.
Wow. Well, I mean, what's weird is that there's hippogriffs on the wall, right? Like you said.
Sure, yeah.
And then it's like, but why would they have hippogriffs if they're also riding them? It's like I don't.
No, there's not hippogriffs. There's griffins. There's
griffins.
Stuffed heads of griffins, wyverns, owlbears, and manticores.
Oh, okay. Well, my mind kind of put together that it was a hippogriff, and I'm like, I'm not going to put a horse on the wall, but okay, I got it.
Yeah, and the knight kind of takes you to each one and shows you the dates and explains that every so many years there's a great quest or a king's quest that there is a prized beast that needs to be slain. And this last one was the manticore. It is in the rotation now. But the manticore is actually a rare being. It is actually a rare monstrosity. So it is a delight when we get to hunt for the beast. But now that it's dead, it is definitely a blow to us because we are not the ones that killed the beast. But Thurl will honor you as adventurers, and seeing that you did bring the head to him, he will acknowledge, and so will our order acknowledge you as the heroes of slaying the beast for the King's Quest. That's why you're here for the feast.
I might pat that guy on the head to kind of settle him because he felt a little like he was feeling bad. And then I go, don't worry, plenty other manicores out there. You can get yours, little buddy.
We can only
What
hope.
king do you keep speaking of? I'm not familiar with any king around here.
There's no king or nothing. I don't think I've mentioned a king, have I?
You keep saying King's
You keep
Quest.
saying the King's Quest.
Oh, the king. It's just called the King's Quest. That is just the name of the quest, the King's Quest.
But how can it be the King's Quest if there's no king?
Because it was Mark King. That's
All
what
right,
his name
I
after.
nominate myself to be the king.
It is just the name of the quest, my friends.
I need to find me a watery bint to chuck a sword at me from a lake.
I did not see any lakes around here.
No one caught
There's
that
a stream
reference?
down in the sign. Yeah, Excalibur. There's a stream that was down in the Sighing Valley, Kel.
Yes, lady in the stream. But
So, heroes, you are.
I'd love to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave. I didn't
You're
mean
more
to
than
interrupt.
welcome to. Well, you're not cutting me off. You're more than welcome to journey to any part of the Spire that you would like. And
Yeah, I want to go check.
they kind
out
of
the,
just kind of walk around and whatnot.
All right, so I want to. We're kind of north. I want to hit that north wall. I'm sorry, the north door. That's kind of leads into the area we haven't been yet. I don't know if I did a good job of explaining that.
Yeah, the northern door.
Yeah.
You did a fine job, Donk.
Well,
you
I mean,
did a
I-
fine job.
I always want to say it's in the corner, but then it's a freaking round room. So how do you know it's in the corner?
Donk, I need you to pee in the corner.
Bonk is
Yeah,
confused.
This is as you open up the door and you start to go in, one of the knights actually say, "That is my quarters, sir." But you are free to explore the tower and come and go as you see fit. But that is my quarters.
Oh, our apologies, Nate.
Yeah, I don't want to go in there if that guy's, claiming it. Let's hit the double doors.
Oh yeah, this chamber is actually quite nice. 2 beds, fireplace, closet, 2 chests. A little bit nicer than what you guys are at. And then there's a couple small tapestries on the wall, a couple chests, and a couple small chests at the foots of the beds too.
Well, what's on the
Feathered
tapestry,
cloaks. Same thing. Basically riders slaying dragons, other winged creatures, wyverns, drakes, shit like that, winged drakes.
Dave? It's interesting. I'm seeing a lot of males in this area, and it just occurred to me, except for the one elf lady that we talked to, the majority of who we run into are males. Is there some kind of a male thing going on here, Dave, or is it just swinging? It just happens to be working out that way.
So do you ask the Feathergale Knight?
Yeah, I might ask that guy. I'm going, hey, how come there's all? Do you have any girls in your army?
We have Savra, but we have other we have some other female writers. They just are not here at the Spire at the moment. It seems that Vulture and Griffin writing are more for the males, which is nothing to discriminate against the females. I just don't think that it is something that the women really want to do. It takes
They
a
just want to
very
make sandwiches.
and I don't think it's that. Look at Raz is like, oh shit. He tells you that he thinks it's just the women just don't have the urge to fly giant creatures around fighting and killing other monsters. And the racing. Maybe it's just the women don't like something that's just too masculine.
So I might ask this guy, who the best rider in all of Feather Spire?
That would be Thurl, of course.
Oh, so is it always the best rider who's the boss?
Doesn't I don't think it would be who would be the best, but Thurl has proved that he has been the best rider for many years. We do have races from time to time as well, and he is the one that always wins the races.
Donk wants to learn to ride and win races.
Contests of skill, technical skill and speed, and it seems that Thurl always comes out on top. We would have to get you, Donk. We would have to get you a bigger giant vulture to make up for your large body.
Oh. Or it would just be struggling the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I've looked at this.
Absolutely.
guy's
What's up,
room.
3Dex? Yeah, we're starting that in
He's
2
got okay
weeks.
tapestries, couple
Starting
of
it
beds.
before it
I don't
comes
really
out.
want to go through it with the guy looking at me.
Can't wait.
I might take a gander off to the west with those big double doors.
Oh yeah, the night he tells you that all of the rest of these other chambers are all chambers of the knights that are currently here at the Spire. It's the same thing. They're all identical spires. There are beds, chest, desk, tapestries, 2 beds per room.
And
yeah,
do
I can't
these
wait.
guys have any special insignias that show that they're
We're gonna do
higher
all the
class,
Underdark
say, than
races and
anybody
stuff.
else
It's
that
gonna be
we've
fun.
seen? Because it just seems like this is pretty nice and a pretty sweet area to have your areas, and we're like in Lamo room, and at the very bottom, I almost feel like it's a caste system. The higher we get up, the better it is.
The travelers level is nice as well. These are the same types of accommodations that the other riders stay in when they are here also. We do not get any special treatment. Even Thurl and Savra themselves, the ones who own the Spire. Well, Thurl, he even stays in a room as well, just like we do. There are extra accommodations.
Stay? What floor?
Speaking out of character, when Savra was leaving the room, she told you that the door directly across the way is where Thurl stays. And,
Okay.
Yep, pretty much.
That's awesome.
Yep. Oh, me too, Dex. I'm really looking forward to this.
Well, I'm just commanding this.
And it's by
You guys
Green
need to chug a
Ronin,
Red Bull
so
or
I know
something.
Green
I've
Ronin's
had
going to
2.
knock it out of the
I'm
park.
ready to get my 3rd.
Thea, Raz, Kel, Alora.
I'm just following around.
Kel wants to check out the light or the crossbow that the guy is carrying.
Sure. That's of exquisite quality.
What is this attachment for?
I have no clue. I have no clue what it's for, Cal. Seriously, it's just part of the art.
I was waiting for him to say something.
Yeah, he tells you that
into people's eyes.
this is it is sort of like and look at it. It looks like sort of like a clear glass bulb on the bottom of it, and he tells you this is where they put the poison. And as the air runs along the rim of the crossbow, it dips the arrow into the poison as it ejects out the end of the crossbow, and that's how they can poison their prey.
That was good, Dave.
Thanks. That was
This is
all.
Bravo,
very
Dave.
interesting.
And no,
Oh,
you
that
cannot
one.
have one. No, you cannot have one.
I don't know how to make stats for it.
I can see Raz's mouth over there frothing to chomping at the bit to get one of these crossbows.